our backwoods making moonshine.
All right, and we are live on the Church of Failure.
I am.
And we are professionals right now. Welcome everybody.
Right.
How drunk are you, Ayrton?
I'm actually not that drunk. I'm just having way too much fun with the soundboard.
I'm not actually. I'm not actually from Boston, but as I am Irish, I am an honorary Westie. And I figure, Larry,
how
you're just.
dare you?
I just figure, you're our Jew, because you need a Jew in the mob. There's a Jewish mob. It's actually they were actually much better at it than the Italian mob.
I mean, there's also the Greeks. You also have the Italians actually had two separate mobs.
I just imagine the communist meme with our Jew.
Well, I mean, remember, Stalin was a member of the communist mafia.
So I took my buddy out for his birthday breakfast to a place we used to stop and get food. I hate you so much.
I warned you you were gonna hate me for this.
We used to get breakfast this place every night after we'd get done at the gym, and you can get like an exorbitant amount of food for $13. So you get like a main breakfast with.
You've gone to a gym?
Fuck you.
He's gone to a gym. Forget about it. It ain't even a thing.
You get 3 eggs, you get hash browns, sausage, bacon,
and you're
more
looking
sausage,
real good today, Bob.
bread,
You're looking very building.
and two pancakes as big as your head. Well, he couldn't finish his pancakes, so he got a box to take them home. I said, "You take those pancakes home. You're never going to see them. Your wife's going to look at you and be like, our pancakes." So yeah, the communist game it plays out a lot in my day-to-day life these days.
Damn it! I didn't get the commie gobbledygook loaded in the soundboard for this week. Fuck.
I mean, you should always have that. Because commie gobbledygook is the thing we deal with frequently.
I have this.
Now, this might strike some viewers as harsh, but I believe everyone involved in this story should die.
That is the source of great strife in my household when I was living with my father. For years.
Communism?
No, well, our treats. Our food. My father grew up in a family that was very, like, first come, first serve, get it or it's gone. Right? And he was super aggressive about food. So harder, Daddy! Yeah. So if there was a dessert, if there was something good out, right, you either got it or you didn't, right? And, like, if he would get, say, inexpensive family ice cream, like a big tub, right, he would give you ice cream whether you wanted it or not. So, you're not ready for a treat, he'll put it in front of you. It's like, eat it. It's like, but I didn't want it. It's like too fucking bad. So I eventually was like, nah, none of this. I'm trying to get healthy. I'm trying to live better. I will not submit to random treats. I will buy my own treats. Right? And
as you do.
The thing was is that my old man hated it. He couldn't understand it. He thought it had to do with, like, I somehow perceived that Ben and Jerry's had to taste different than just a bucket of dryers, which it doesn't, right?
I mean, it does.
It does, but that's not the point. But the thing is like, my old man was livid because he couldn't look at my Ben and Jerry's or my Haagen-Dazs and say our Haagen-Dazs, because I'd get one little pint for me and I'd make that thing last all week.
Don't you oppress me, mate.
There's a clip of Rune talking to his father about ice cream.
This is the most onion on the belt our show has ever been.
As it was the style at the time.
As it was.
It was indeed the style of the time.
So, for those of you in our audience today, I happen to acquire a copy of Item number 2. Now, as is tradition on this show, this copy that
these things fall back off of.
What? Yeah.
You just stalk the truck these things fall off the back of?
Look. It was actually a person who purchased it. Excuse me. a person who purchased it who was not satisfied with his purchase and wanted to recoup his losses and sold it to me at a discount. And I, in turn, provided to the rest of you. So, Church, did you read item number 2?
I looked at it and discussed.
Mm-hmm.
Like I looked at the copy you sent me, and I went, man, I could go smack myself in the face with a hammer, or I could read this. So when I woke up 2 days later after smacking myself in the face with a hammer, I congratulated myself on making a fantastic choice.
In matter of point, Church, I was sitting here thinking how to make a joke about how either this comic didn't even smack good, a la Simpsons, because onion, or trying to imply that while Larry might have got it off of a truck, that it wasn't even worth holding up the truck. It's not that it fell off the truck, it's that they threw it off the truck as the truck went by and said, please get rid of this, we don't want it.
And Ayrton, did you take the opportunity to read item number 2?
Fuck no. I've been working like 10 hours a day, pretty much every single day for the past 2.5 weeks. So I happen to get through Cyberfrog 2. And I would rather stab myself in the pee hole with a dull screwdriver than read item 2.
All this Eric July drama has made people.
1.
Wait, was I the only one who actually? No, Joe read all of it, and I think you read all of it, didn't you, Church?
I did.
Yeah. So, item number 2 does the rare thing a sequel can very rarely do. It makes the prequel worse, which is impressive.
You mean like Star Wars?
No, the prequels made themselves worse.
Yeah.
It's like The Last Jedi makes The Force Awakens worse.
Here's the thing. It would be like if the Star Wars prequels had been so bad that on reviewing, people had found the original trilogy bad.
Yes.
I did.
Oof.
Wow.
So, there are lots of problems with item number 2. I'm going to start with the big problem. The biggest problem is, why is this a comic book page? So, Church, what would you think the opening page of your second comic book about item?
Well, wait a minute. I got a question. Is that the biggest problem, or is that just the most popular problem? Because I was under the impression the biggest problem was, why is this book about item?
It's not about item.
Other characters.
It's not about item.
No, it's
No,
the first
book,
problem.
neither book
Why
so
is
far
this
has
a
been about
comic book
item.
page?
Yeah.
So that's what
But,
I'm saying. Is the presentation
there's
the
been
main
more-
problem? Or is the character the problem?
The character
there's
is a
been
core
more
part of the presentation.
Okay.
No, Rune, there's been more character development of item in Cyberfrog over the past 4 years than there has in item 1.
Oof. So the first page is Item's sister.
I wrong?
No, because Item's not a character.
Okay.
Well, I mean, if we're going to argue that item has more character development in other books, then in pure technicality, the most character development item ever had was in Luke Cage.
Well, no, because item number 2 has put to bed the possibility that he's a Luke Cage ripoff.
Because he's a cheap-ass blade?
Well, I mean, he could be like Damon Hellstorm, but black.
Black Man Hellstorm?
Black Man Hellstorm, yeah. So
to answer your question, Larry, what opening page are we talking about? Are we talking about the one with the The educated gentleman pointing a gun at you,
No,
or the one?
no,
with
that's
the,
that's not the opening page.
Okay. I know, because there's stuff that comes after it, but it's like, why is it there?
So the opening page is Isom's sister is on an elevator with a coworker talking about business stuff for the company she works at.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was how they chose to open the book. Then the next page is more of them talking about business and her getting to the door of her office. Now, she opens the door of the office. We see her standing in the door of the office. She's backlit. And the mob boss figure is sitting at her desk.
This is
But
the
she
owl,
just-
right? I've seen this book before. This is the owl.
No?
They later changed it to be Apocalypse, but right here it's supposed to be the owl.
I mean, no. He's just some gangbanger.
No, this is obviously an X-Force thing, because this is how they ended a good issue of X-Force, and this is the end, right?
No. We're talking about the beginning of the book. We're not talking about the end of the book.
Do you guys know when? Do you guys, when you're bored, you're sitting at home, like all your chores are done, you've done laundry, you've cleaned the kitchen, you've vacuumed, and you're just kind of sitting there, and there's something good on TV, and you just, you decide to jerk off.
Right? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's that's
I mean,
that's kind of where I'm at.
I mean, to be
So-
entirely honest, I'm halfway tempted to get up and go do chores in the kitchen now.
Well, hold up. We're almost to the point where the Isom book does something. The gangbanger
Well, if we flip the page over, we realize that he's told her what he's about to tell her 2 times previously.
Yes.
Well-
But the gangbanger, then smacks Isom's sister in the face. And my first thought is, well, why don't we have, a page for going to her office? And then
Larry,
a page of her confronting the guy, and then the guy slaps her in the face. As opposed to like 6 pages to get there.
Larry, something you and I discussed.
It takes 6 pages to slap a bitch in the face.
Yes.
Yeah, but
What
Larry,
kind of pimp is this? You got to
Right.
keep your pimp hands strong. You got to smack a bitch in the face in like 3.
Oh, no.
panels max.
It takes 3 pages for her to get to him for him to be able to smack her in the face.
But Larry,
Yeah,
something we talked
it's
about.
got to be like 3 panels max.
But Larry, something you and I talked about last time, okay, that on reanalysis is even worse than I realized.
Yes.
Okay, is the blocking of this page. Okay.
Oh yeah, the blocking's terrible.
She gets off the elevator. She gets the eyeball scan, where it's really more of a face scan, right? Her door opens. She's silhouetted in it.
Yes.
Okay. In the next panel, which does not look like the same area, there's no evidence of her entering the room. Okay? She's standing in front of what looks like windows, talking to the gangbanger. And one of his thugs is behind her. The thing is that he was never indicated to be beside the door or out of sight. So he's just there. Right?
He just teleports.
On the next page, gangbanger and sister are talking, and sister notices his ass there, where he's already standing behind her, which means that either A, as you say, he teleported, or B, she is abjectly so unaware of the world around her, she never saw that guy coming up behind her. And then it takes 2 more panels for her to get slapped in the face.
Yeah.
Well, that's not even the biggest tragedy here. Like Larry's drawing it out, but let's just shoot the monkey in the room in the face. It is 8 full pages before you are introduced to the titular character of this comic book.
Well, yes, but he doesn't do anything.
He picks up a desk, Larry. And
he doesn't do it.
He had breakfast this morning.
No, Isom doesn't do anything until he meets the demon lady.
What if you didn't have breakfast? How would you feel if you didn't have breakfast this morning, though, Church?
But Church had breakfast. He just told us about that earlier.
Well,
It was a big breakfast.
how would he feel if
It
he
was
didn't
fulfilling.
have breakfast?
I don't understand the question.
Guys, in the realm of things not met, I think it's only fair that we.
Breakfast was met.
But what if it wasn't? I think it's only fair that we use the standards presented by Eric July, and I think we've skipped over that. Page 2 of this comic, really page 1 if you don't consider the cover a page. Okay, the Ripaverse ethic. So this is Eric July telling us the ethics and standards of his company and book. Okay. The American Comic Book Company was not created at random. I've been rooted in the culture of the American comic book since I was a youngster, and being a creative in the industry was always a dream of mine. That is a bad sentence, but it's a stream of consciousness, so I'll let it ride. But the unfortunate state of the industry gave me the push that I needed to give it a shot at such a young age. You are not a young man, sir. We've seen what works, and we still believe that the magic of the culture. With that being said, we are guided by a set of principles that remain the staple of this company. Respect the customer that you're charging $35 for a book for. We want you invested in the brand and everything that comes from it. Ripaverse Comics is not entitled to your money, and we must earn your support. Okay, but you're actively attacking people that critique you. It's on us as the creators to produce something that you find of value and can remain invested in. It's impossible to please everybody, and we hope there's a book or character that you look forward to keeping up with. The success of this company will be largely dictated by our ability to keep the customer interested and satisfied. We are not oblivious to this. Respect goes both ways, and we will honor our side of the deal.
All I gotta say is, I would like the Ripaverse to have a character that I'd be interested in investigating too.
Well, there's that, but also as we're chirping away, it's like, okay, so let's keep in mind.
What are you talking about, Rune?
First thing is, do you feel the book that we are talking about has either respect for you or has met your standards of purchase?
No and no.
I would say not.
I think the real question would be, how would you feel if Isom 1 and 2 didn't suck?
No. I mean,
I'd be happy.
The problem is that's a big what if, because they do suck. It's like, what if you didn't have breakfast this morning? So the next ethical precept is canon and continuity. Our aspirations extend far beyond having a couple of characters or series. A vast universe that is ever expanding is what we hope to accomplish. This is something that has long been intriguing about American comic books.
Why does everybody need a universe these days? Like,
but it has
Spider-Man
you can sell more products.
Didn't have a universe. Spider-Man didn't have a universe per se.
He did though.
Now.
But
He was in the Marvel universe, but you could have written Spider-Man with no other superheroes in that universe, and it still would have been a good story.
But it has become a lost art. The Ripaverse will fill this void. This means that every single book you buy will always matter. If retcons are to exist, they will only be used in the classic sense of introducing new information. So, deconstruction, which is not classic. We want every book that you buy to always matter. Those stories happened. There will be no lazy time travel to change histories or events. There will be no cheap multiverses.
As comic fans, that's not what people want, though. Like, most of the Golden Age didn't matter, and that's fine.
There will be no cheap.
Look, Church. You're telling me that Superman wearing a Pope hat didn't matter?
There will be There will be no cheap multiverses that have altered versions of the same character. If you own a book, you own a part of the history, and it's our mission to keep it that way. This concept will remain true regardless of the medium. Should the character appear in officialized animation, officialized is not a word, or live action, the depictions need to be accurate to the characters as realistically as possible. Your favorite characters will always be recognizable. I'm going to say again, officialized is not a word.
And they're barely recognizable now.
a comprehensive timeline. Because we value canon and continuity, without defining what those words mean, it's important that you're able to follow the timeline as these characters grow. This would be especially helpful for those of you who become customers years after our founding.
Hold up. So, in other words, you're saying I should be able to know when exactly that flashback in ISOM number 2 was in the ISOM timeline?
Right, but obviously the intimation is that only happens if you buy all 3 books. We promise to try to keep reboots to a minimum. If this means that a series is on its 100th issue or volume, so be it. But that isn't a reason to feel overwhelmed.
So in other words, taking Isom, who seemed like a Luke Cage-like, and saying that his powers come from the devil, that wouldn't be a reboot?
Right. But this isn't a reason to feel overwhelmed. There will be plenty of opportunities to purchase anthologies that combine key stories, but we also don't want to hold your hand at picking up the pieces, as is often part of the fun. Not every story will be told in chronological order, so there is no comprehensive timeline. You just said you're going to fuck the timeline. So we'll always make it as easy as possible to keep up with as the universe grows. First, I just want to point out, what the fuck does that have to do with anything?
So there were lots of people who had those complaints. And he basically said, listen, all of you who don't like what Marvel and DC are doing, I promise to not do those things.
Sure, but you just said you're going to do those things. You're just going to do them in a different way.
Now, if you'll please just step right to the side while I go and do these things.
Right, and thank you for giving me your... I am asking you again for financial support for Isom.
Match me, bro. Match me.
So, there is a part of Isom number 2 that Ayrton would like. Hey, Diller.
Yeah, right.
Well, having just gone...
Well, no.
Hey, guys, what's going on?
We're talking about Isom number 2, Diller.
I just finished reading through ISOM number 1 and number 2 last night.
Here's the thing, Larry.
I'm sorry.
Here's the thing. One of the primary critiques we just talked about, you and I,
Toeing the corporate line, are we, Diller?
is the lack of overt connection between ISOM 1 and ISOM 2. But we were just told, because it's the Riververse ethics, that timeline and continuity are important. So where's my continuity between the 2 books that are the only books I have in this series?
Well, the gangbanger slapped his sister. That's the connection between the 2 books.
Right, but the second book is about Isom going with a cowboy lady to fight demons, not about continuing to try and save this person that has been grabbed by a gangster.
Well, no, she's not been grabbed by the gangster. She's there willingly as part of his organization.
Right, but she's obviously in some kind of peril. Stupid. That's why he was asked to help her out.
And when Isom said, hey, people want you out of there, she's like going, oh, I should probably leave. But she didn't leave.
Hi, Dillard. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Dillard's great.
Everything's great.
Everything is great. Everything is great.
Actually,
everything is awesome.
If we want to talk about books with continuity and canon and character, can we talk about the Buckler?
What the fuck? I didn't read the Buckler. I want to talk about Isa.
Hold up.
The Buckler's amazing.
So there is a part of this that Ayrton would like. There's an ANCAP superhero that you can pay $60 a month for, and he'll provide you with superhero type services.
And only slightly look stupid while he's at it.
That guy's great.
Good Yang. Yeah, he'll come out to your house with a robot, put out your fire, and he'll provide you with medical care.
If I pay him $60 a month, can I stop paying that on my taxes to cover for police and fire services?
No, that's not how the government works, Church.
No, you in fact pay for both.
Well, but if hold on, hear me out.
The one who
hear me out. If I pay the $60 a month though, and the government comes for me, is he going to come protect me from the government?
No, that's not how the government works, Church.
No, he only offers fire services and investigative.
Yeah.
What if I set the government on fire?
My My favorite superhero is the one he can fly, but in order to fly, he has to shout racial slurs. So if there's a fire in Section 8 housing, he's almost useless.
Well, I don't know why that would be useless. I've been to Section 8 housing. There's a lot of racial slurs there.
I'm glad Church got that.
There's a lot of racial diversity in Section 8 houses. I'll be honest. I was surprised.
It's true. It's true.
Surprised at how
You
many
mean there's
Mexicans and whites are
black
there.
people?
No, just Mexicans and whites. We don't have a lot of blacks around
Yeah, yeah. But so we after so we go back to Isom's sister getting pimp slapped in her office. Her boss shows up a little later saying she wanted to see what the gangbanger was. He wanted to see what the gangbanger was going to do at his building, as opposed to
Man,
hey,
Church.
there's a known criminal.
Pimp's prayer on this.
Yeah, saying hey, this criminal is showing up at my building. Maybe I should arrest him. Maybe I should have him arrested. And then later, after he has him on video assaulting a woman and breaking and entering into his facility, this guy doesn't get arrested. He just leaves.
Quick question. What happened to all the backgrounds in the ISOM universe?
Well, they're not there because it's more expensive to draw them.
No, but there are none. There aren't any in this book that I've noticed so far.
Well, remember, as we have been told by our Lord and Savior,
I see some lines. I think that might count for something.
The quality of the book is unimportant. It's not about staples. So.
Oh no. Ethan's actually said that this is not a good quality. That
no, I know. I was being snarky.
That to quote Sam Wilson, he should do better.
I found the page that Riley parodied.
Ethan said that?
Yes, Ethan has said that.
Oh shit!
Download this.
This was the start of the Eric July.
That's actually a good segue. Hold on.
Well, hold up.
Professionals here. Oh, you're not done. All right.
Oh no, I'm not done because this man slaps the chief technology officer of a tech company. And her boss doesn't have him arrested, doesn't have him hauled out in front of the media to say, hey, here's a criminal who broke into my building. Please arrest him. It's weird. And then we see the Avenger cops talking about Yaira. It's like saying, man, we need to talk about this character who's going to be having a spin-off book and also talking about our spin-off book. And then we're going to show a picture of Isom laying on a couch. That Isom is one of the most passive protagonists until he meets Demon Lady. Once Isom meets Demon Lady, we start to get something interesting.
Wait. Is that her actual name, or is that what we're calling her?
That's what I'm calling her. I'm calling her Demon Lady because she has demon magic.
Because Demon Lady is actually a really good name for a anti-hero.
Yeah. But Isom farts around, tries to figure out, hey, what's going on? Why is this stuff happening? Also, the book gives us Isom getting kind of like therapy from a guy he's buying his super suit from. Then Isom does some training, and then he drives out to go see the Demon Lady, and we get a lot of really bad panels of the Demon Lady's, fortress. And then something interesting happens. The Demon Lady sends like wolves, and alligators, and a dragon to fight Isom.
I'm sorry, did you say something interesting happens? Because I wasn't particularly grabbed.
Dude, this is gay. My internet crapped out on this.
And then she explains to Isom that they're extra-dimensional beings that aren't actual demons. And Isom's like, yeah, I'd know if they're actual demons. Well, now you need to be careful because we might get DMCA'd for this. But there is a DMCA free parody copy that you can post. That's in the private chat.
These nuts, fat boy.
Whoa!
And yeah, then he goes into the cavern and fights the demon people. And then Demon Lady does some demon magic, and Isom completely no-sells it. She's like, "Whoa, why is it you're no-selling this demon magic?" And then the lead.
I just want to mention something that I find is very pertinent here. When Larry and I were talking about this comic originally, okay, I kept saying demons because they were clearly demons, because that's the implication, is that they are demons. And Larry kept going, no, they tell you in the comic they're extra-dimensional beings, they're not demons.
And Ayrton would know if they were demons.
And yet here we are, Sunday. They're fucking demons, Larry! You've said they're demons 4 fucking times! Why did you give me the hard ass about them being demons?
Because Joe, because fuck you.
No, I said demon lady and the extra dimensional demon things. That they're extra dimensional beings that are like demons.
Nuts.
And it turns out these extra dimensional demon Morlock things were all in some elaborate scheme to pull Isom out so they could find out who he actually is. So one of the central complaints about Isom the character is the central plot point of the second Isom book. So who the heck is Isom anyway?
I mean, according to that drawing that I just saw, his name is Riley.
Who is Isom? What is Isom? Why is Isom? Where is
Why
Isom?
should I care?
Wait, hold on. That's a better sound effect.
So Dillard, what was your opinion of the Isom? And we will certainly make sure that
Dillard's already said
not
he's towing the corporate line. Isom was great. Thumbs up.
Well, no. I mean, that's not the corporate line, is it? Because I mean, Ethan is saying like, Isom needs to do better.
Okay, so this is what I think. No, absolutely, Isom needs to do better, and in the sense that there's a reason. There's a reason when most comic books take place in a big city. It's because it's fucking boring to look at the country.
Harder, Daddy.
Yeah,
it's real fucking boring to look at dust and fucking yucca trees and big sky and flat plains.
Also, don't forget there was Stone Cold Steve Austin was in the comic book for some reason.
For some reason.
I forgot to mention that.
Can you imagine though, guys, in a fight in the South in the country where you have to fight in tights where gumballs are falling off the trees and you're fighting in pine needles.
Everybody just gets shot.
Ants and mosquitoes are everywhere.
It
would be awful. Like supervillains based in the South would have to be made out of big.
But there is one particular thing that really, really bugs me about Isom, and that is the hatching tool that is used on every fucking page. They got the hatching tool. I think it's called gauze, and it's just so fat and so thick, and they used it on every corner of every panel, and it really just pulls me right. It's hard to stay in the world of the book.
I didn't even notice that, but you're right. That is terrible.
Also, none of the panels were interesting the way they were laid out. It was just very flat, very dull, very matter of fact. Oh, also, I forgot to mention that.
You see this?
Yeah.
You see that on the top?
Yeah.
You see it on every panel. You see it on every single panel. All of them. They all have that same nasty. I have it on Clip Studio. It's called Gauze Hatch. Oh, golly.
And also, the assassination attempt on the CEO guy by the gangbangers. That doesn't make sense how any of that happened.
Oh, his driver gave him the old double cross.
I thought that was his head of security. The way it was implied there.
He was driving. I call him a driver.
Well, here's the thing. I think this is very key here. I'm a writer type. Larry's a writer type. We're very much apt to dig into the lack of context in the writing, and that's unfortunately ephemeral.
And a lot of wasted real estate, like Stone Cold Steve Austin being in the comic book for some reason.
No. What I mean is writing itself is ephemeral. In the regular debate, is it writing or is it
we all know what ephemeral means?
Wait, are you saying Eric July is a femboy?
No, Ayrton. What I'm trying to say.
I mean, there's some
over the
videos.
two of you
There's some
chuckling
videos out there that suggest he might have been one at one point.
What I am trying to say over you two laughing hyenas
I'll say it faster.
is
the
regular
blonde guy the one you're
debate-
calling Stone Cold Steve Austin?
in the regular debate.
The guy in the wrestling ring.
Between is it art or art writing that makes comics? I freely admit that writing is the harder thing to notice. Okay, but here we have
Unless you're really bad like this.
Unless you're really bad. And here we have Dillard pointing out.
Or you're autistic like we are.
And here you have Dillard pointing out art flaws that even people with halfway decent artistic knowledge like myself, I didn't notice that. And now that I'm thinking about it, that is a huge fucking problem.
Yes.
Because Eric July is the author. And when asked, do you need any help, said, no, man, I'm good. I got this. And he didn't do any of the art, which means that the guy he paid to do his art.
Hold up.
Which means the guy he paid to do his art fucked him on the art. And he signed off on it.
Hold up, Rune. So Eric July is joining us real quick via FaceTime.
Sure.
I'm kind of retarded.
Okay, that was his statement on
I believe it.
That's his official statement.
No, the thing is, this story is very much from what I gather, because I read the whole thing in one go, right? I never read Isom number 1 up until yesterday, so my first experience for 1 and 2 was yesterday night, and the whole thing just kind of seems like everything takes a bit too long to happen. There's a bit too much, but the story is very easy to follow. I don't. I mean, it's a little bit too much hand holding, in my opinion. But also at the same time, there's a little bit too much going on in this world.
20% of the books, roughly, are promoting future books. They're setting up future books, and that's fine and everything if Isom was a tighter story. Also, Isom's a superhero who can punch things. He's not doing a whole lot of punching things. I'm here to see Isom punch things.
Like, I'll be honest, when I got to the fight scene with all of the parademons or whatever they are at the end, like there was like not three. There was 2 occasions where I saw like a couple of pages of fight, and I just skipped them real quick because I was like, there's nothing to read here. And I wasn't really interested in the fight, so I'm like, whatever.
But also, the reason you're not interested in that fight is, why is Isom, a character who up until this point we believed is a street-level superhero, fighting demons? What's the point of all that?
Well, part and parcel with this, back in Isom 1, if you recall, we were talking about the blocking and structure of the fight scene between Isom and the hired super muscle.
Yeah.
Right? And that fight never actually coalesces. Okay? I'm gonna chill out here for a minute because I've read it, I own it, I supported it, and here we have Dillard. In the Buckler, you see people fight. You actually see fists connect with bodies. You see the after effect. You see the progression of the language of combat. In Isom,
you see that in Cyberfrog too.
Dillard actually told me on a live stream one time that he had people he paid from outside on the side of the road to come in and get punched over and over again so that he could study the physics of what a face looked like getting punched.
No, I was trying to. I just got my black belt. I was trying to practice.
But here's what I'm getting at, though. In Isom, there are some throws where you see people land and then stand up, but you never actually see them like collide with anything. You don't see the force of impact. And then
this is the thing. I'm not building a universe. I just use the one we already lived in. It's already there.
Right. But you also, to the best of my knowledge, you never really
except the fact that most Canadians are little bitches.
Well, he's not Canadian. He's living in Canada. He's not a Canadian.
Yeah, people can live in other places.
Close enough. No,
but
that's the whole reason I put him in Canada, because people there would be too scared to take him out, and he walks around very brazen, very boldly in downtown.
But what I'm getting at, though, is
if I get moose powers, I just need to move to Canada, and the feds will fuck off.
Yes.
But what I'm getting
Okay,
at is that
I'm gonna go get bit by a radioactive moose. I'll be right back.
what I'm getting at is that sure, Isom wants to do this world building, but Isom still sells itself like a superhero action comic. And not only is there no action in a practical sense, because Isom is reactive, not proactive, but the visual spectacle of the action, the super action, is not there. It's either happening in the background or it never
hold on,
actually
real quick.
manifests.
He
The
actually
moose
did
killed
leave to
Ayrton.
go get bit by a radioactive moose.
The moose killed him.
Oh no.
That's not how mooses work, Ayrton. Mises.
Meese.
Moosei.
Yeah, what is the plural moose?
Mooses.
Mooses. All right.
No, because I remember in the book he says something along the lines of, "Yeah, get him out of here, escort him out, take him out the front door." I'm assuming because what it seems to me
Confiscate
is
his
that
coat.
yeah, I'm assuming what's happening here is that street level gangster guy is probably no longer going to be the big bad threat, so they're kind of escorting him out of the book.
Well, no. He later in the book tries to assassinate the CEO.
Right, but the CEO is like a super Musk, right? He's just kung fuing everybody.
Well, no. He gets thrown out of a car when the assassination happens.
No, he causes the car to crash, takes off his seatbelt so that he could then fly out of the front windshield.
Yeah. But still, the point is that that's going to continue because there's also the Super Cop. Yeah, they also have the Super Cop Avengers thing. And they still have to resolve the girl.
I like that. I hate everybody. I hate the girl. I hate the leader. But I like the guy that flies with the mask on. I like that guy. I don't know why. He has personality or something.
I mean, the Super Avengers seems one of the most developed concepts that they have, along with ANCAP Reed Richards.
I don't understand. You lost me. In
So you mean Jim? Who also wants to know about Dollar Store General Zod. But I didn't know Jim was in this comic book. You know, and Cap Reed Richards, that, you know.
Well, when Jim Jesus says this, all I can imagine in my brain now is just General Zod standing on a street corner with a cup going, "Change for Zod!"
There's a page here, if I could show my screen for a second. And this is like the entirety of what's wrong with the book encapsulated on one page.
Are you talking about the truck going into the castle?
Nope, talking about this right here.
Oh yeah, that one. That is really weird.
Let me make you full
It
screen.
kind of looks like the beginning of a Fallout game.
Yeah, it does.
But the thing is that it does not represent what it's supposed to be. This is supposed to be this guy we assume landing from jumping from one of these things. But one, we didn't see him jump.
they forgot to draw his Pip Boy though.
The thing is, we didn't see him jump. We didn't see him land. And it's not him running. That's not.
It's just run. There's no way this is an actual frame. This is an actual page for the book.
It is.
Here's the thing. He's also not running.
He just kind of looks like he's just like standing there high stepping, you know?
He's posing there high stepping for no reason.
Also,
it looks like he's doing the fox. It looks like he's doing the foxtrot underwater for America's Next Top.
Also,
America's Got Talent. Holy shit! What the fuck? Hold on, Dylan. Will you send me a picture of that? I want that tattooed on my ass for posterity. That is the worst page.
I will go through the
got a
of actually sending that picture to you if you will get a tattoo.
I mean,
shit.
Look, we can't show it on YouTube, but I think if Ayrton's gonna get that panel tattooed on his ass,
we'll stream it on Rumble. Him getting the tattoo.
Yeah, we need to show that on Rumble for charity.
Oh, another thing about the art that bothered me is all the fucking Dutch angles. Like, I don't know if this had more Dutch angles than the Battlefield Earth.
Hold up a sec, Larry.
Okay.
So Danielle, who you all know, one of her kids drew this in school that she sent me.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be a story about a pigeon, and it says, "Don't let the pigeon eat the humans." and this is the picture that the child drew with the caption, "Don't let the pigeon eat the humans." This is 1,000 times better than the panel. This is 1,000 times better than the panel that Dillard just showed us.
I'm gonna tell you right now, that kid has absolutely no talent.
Like this kid should learn. This kid should learn. This kid should learn. Should win an Emmy for this one page.
Although we can't put this up in a museum and charge $3 million for it.
Fuck.
But yeah, what's up with all the Dutch angles and ISO? I don't understand the Dutch angles. It bothers me at a deep psychological place in my brain.
I'm so confused. Why is Isom running like a retard under the water?
Well, no, that's not Isom. That's the ANCAP guy, Godine.
Yeah, that's the one that
for $60.
There's one
white
person in this comic.
No, he's white.
You're right.
He's white.
That Stone Cold cutscene is 7 pages long.
But
but why did we waste 7 pages?
And we don't even get to see a Stone Cold Stunner. Like that's the problem. It's not
like
that it's
wouldn't it have been awesome if it was
anyone like if they showed a wrestling match in those pages, it would have made it more bearable.
Well,
yeah.
But his entrance is 3 pages long.
If he was white, he could have just been swimming instead of trying to run under the water.
Here's
the guy.
No, that was under the water. And he is white.
Christ.
Ayrton's drunk right now.
Why isn't he swimming?
Because he's not underwater. He's not underwater.
Here's the other problem with these.
Wait! That wasn't underwater.
No.
What?
That's
outside Isom's house.
Dillard, show that page again. What the fuck is?
All right, 1 second. Let me find it.
All right.
Dillard's enjoying this way too much.
But the Stone Cold Steve Austin spread was like 7 pages. And like, hey, wouldn't it have been cool if Stone Cold Steve Austin was like, fighting demons? That could have been cool.
There's already a book.
Are you sure that's not underwater?
That's not underwater.
No,
that's
this
Texas
is right
scrub.
This is right outside the ranch. These are flying little robot dog things. And
that's the sky.
But why is it blue? Why is there seaweed next to him? Why is it blue?
No, that's not seaweed. That's brush.
Typically, skies are blue, Ayrton.
So there's also.
I know not always, but sometimes.
Here's the other thing, Ayrton. You might be having difficulty. There's a thing called glare, and the light from Dillard's screen is reflecting on the physical book that Dillard's holding in his hand. Yeah. I'm sorry, physics confuses you.
Let me do this. Here, I'll do this. Here.
I 1,000% thought. I 1,000% that I thought that was underwater.
No, but it's 100% on land.
I was so confused. I thought those like shadows were fish and shit, and there was like seaweed and whatnot.
Now, Dillard, have you looked at the artwork for the artist for Isom? Because he's done some artwork for DC and some other major publications.
I have not. No.
He does very good static images, but not good any other images in comic books.
I wish he drew this in
kind of the requirement for drawing a comic book, though, is being able to do dynamic images.
That's
not anymore.
That's the thing, Ayrton. What he basically did is he drew it all static. Every panel is a mini poster. They're not good comic panels because there's no sequential movement between
this
panels.
Entire thing can be cut out where he's actually meeting his head rancher's wife and they're getting a robot to go to visit. Like all these, I can't stress this enough. Transportation is not interesting.
No.
Well, even
unless
the occasional
spaceship, it's not interesting.
Well, the occasional shot of Spider-Man on a subway, just awkwardly being Spider-Man, is humorous, and you could throw it in for one panel. But having a whole page dedicated to travel,
no. It wasn't a whole page, Church. It was 2.
All the way from the ranch. From the ranch, we start up a car. A good truck is a good truck. No dialogue happens. Not much to set up. Just say, half hour later, boom, arrive at the place, right?
Here's the
thing.
You gotta do. Here's the thing. I could structure a story where meeting those people and getting to know them is important because I was planning to kill them off brutally
Now,
later.
I've been waiting for a script from Rune forever. I could tell you right now, he cannot structure a story, or if he can, he can't get it on paper.
Fuck you,
Unbreaded.
You've seen the draft. You know I can put shit on paper. The thing is that I still wouldn't waste as many panels as Isom did for that.
Well, hold on. We might be being too judgmental. And also we've got to wrap this up if we're going to cover the potatoes.
Yeah, we're way over time.
Jesus Christ.
Also, Aaron wants to talk about how great Cyberfrog 2 is.
No, I didn't say how great.
I don't think
I said it was better.
I don't think he's capable of doing that right now.
Fuck you.
He's drunk.
I'm just gonna do the whole. I'm gonna do the whole review just off of my soundboard.
But the thing that really troubles me is that there are small little snippets here and there all over the book of people drawn dynamically, but they're very small. They're in the corners.
Yes.
As soon as they get up and the real beef starts to happen, everything gets static again.
Yeah.
So I know that it's not his ability to do that. Maybe it's just a little bit too much interference when it comes to like July trying to be in control of the storytelling visually.
My thought was maybe it's not so much that as there's not enough story to fill out the page count. So there may have been art instruction to stretch out minor things like this.
Well, that's Eric July interfering then.
Well,
yeah,
but let's not forget that we talked about this, Larry, and when Eric July talks about the comics that inspired him, he is firmly describing late 90s, early 2000s deconstructed comics.
Mm-hmm.
So his experience with the medium is a narrow window of a very specific presentation of information, not necessarily the best version of that.
No, it's not. His experience isn't narrow. It's just his taste is narrow.
I mean, people are allowed to have narrow tastes, I suppose. Like I can't look at him and be like, your taste is wrong, and you shouldn't make comics.
That's basically my comic. That's basically what I think about entertainment.
Okay.
So what's next up? We're talking about potatoes.
Do we want the cost of liberty or the appearance on the Dick Show?
The cost of liberty.
Ooh,
that's the one. That's the JF
cost of liberty
Odyssey stream.
Okay.
Yes.
Guys,
we definitely need to hit that.
Okay.
I'm sorry. What was that, Dillard?
All right.
Oh, I don't even know. Okay.
All right. So, backstory, real quick. Anybody that cares already knows. JF Garapy, or JF Gay Rapey, as he's known in many circles, is a white nationalist YouTuber. He used to be like some fucking neuroscientist or some bullshit biologist. Apparently, really smart guy, but he has been caught up multiple times having sexual relations with women who were less than mentally efficient on their own.
So women. He's had sexual relations with women.
Aaron. He's had sexual relations with women who are not mentally together enough to, engage in a decision.
So women.
No, like Downey's kind of mentally deficient. Aaron.
He's going to keep making the joke because he thinks it's funny.
So women.
I know.
Anyway, so he has been common law married to a particular lady who has been dubbed Mama JF. Her real name is out there. There is a missing persons report out on her. And
her name is in the news article from like the CBC or whatever.
Yeah, the RCMP or whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, this is JF's response on his own podcast, JFG Tonight. his response, and even Ethan Ralph of the Kill Stream was screaming on Twitter to shut the fuck up. So it's kind of a doozy.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, are you fapping the whole thing or just part of it?
Thing, person. Hello, everyone, and welcome to JFG tonight. No news tonight. I just want to talk about something personal that I'm forced to talk about at this point. It's I've been wanting to keep it relatively calmer and less public, but I've been forced by the various events because people have discovered about it, and so I might as well talk about it instead of letting rumors develop and all of
a very small portion of the internet was aware of what was going on with Mama JF at the time that this was made. This particular podcast is what drove the rumors and conspiracies and the investigation into overdrive.
all of the messy information that can stem from it. So yeah, it's the disappearance of Mama JF. Mama JF has been disappearing in the sense of not leaving any contact, not leaving information about where she was. And I titled my episode
Yes, sir.
I've heard people give it like award speeches at the Special Olympics that sound less retarded than French Canadians.
I mean, the French Canadian accent is pretty awful.
Anyways, all right.
Was that all you had?
That was his contribution.
I want to point out the language that's used in this. It doesn't look good first and foremost, but just kind of keep an ear out for things that just don't quite sound right.
Like this man's talking as opposed to doing what his lawyer would have told him to do, which is to not say anything.
I mean,
which is to just follow Ethan Ralph's advice and shut the fuck up.
He probably got the same lawyers as Eric July.
I mean, this is one of the few times that you should listen to Ethan Ralph. Is if you're in a situation where Ethan Ralph says, "Listen, bro, you should not talk for fear of legal things."
Here's the thing. I have some bias in conversation about EVS. Okay, I have some beef. All right.
Wait. Where does EVS come into this?
Remember, we're talking about people who are Ethans. We're talking about Ethans on the internet.
Right. Wrong, Ethan. But my point is that when somebody who makes their bones causing internet drama says, "Bro, shut the fuck up," you should
listen.
When someone who hasn't been able to shut the fuck up about their own legal drama,
yeah,
you should shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I didn't want any of this. I'm just a family guy, and I've always been wanting to provide and take care for people around me.
I'm sorry. I'm just my brain about, he's just a family guy. So, yes, French Canadian Peter Griffin can't find his girlfriend. Good job.
But there is one thing I cannot do in our society. I cannot stop you from doing crazy stuff. I cannot stop you from exposing yourself to risks when you say the words, "I want to do it." When you claim your own...
exposing yourself on a bicycle?
I mean, this is a very weird lead-in. What he's saying here.
He's already defending himself.
own liberty, you are on your own, and I cannot do anything to protect you. And so that I don't know if Mama JF is in danger. I don't know where she is. But at this point, I'm forced to talk about it because people are spreading rumors on the internet. Because I'll just give you my my perspective on all of this, and you know, people are accusing me of murder on the internet. It's like, you guys don't know. You guys don't know the police. I've been speaking with the feds on an everyday basis for a couple of days now. For maybe I don't know, maybe a couple of days. For a couple of days, I've been speaking to the police on a regular basis. So it all stems from Mama JF, you guys know, and I've stated it publicly. In June, she left. She didn't want. I mean, it's not even clear why she left, and she's done it in the past. You guys have seen it.
Did you catch that?
Yes, I did.
It's not even clear why she left. Put that down in your notes, boys.
To have been following the show for years, she wanted to go away. So that's all we often know with Mama JF. She wants to go away. She had done it once.
Your lawyer told you shut the fuck up. Do what your lawyer says. That phrasing, I don't care if he's not a primary English speaker because he's French Canadian, who are all bilingual anyway. That phrasing sounds so fucking inflammatory. Because he's not saying that she is posthumous. She's not saying she left me. He's not saying she was angry. He's just saying she just went away, like she evaporated. That is not a good look, man.
Once, and I'd come back to us weeks after, and you remember she came on the show on the day she came back, and she said something along the lines of, "Well, I thought you didn't want to be with me anymore," and so. And I said to her, no, you left of your own will. But she says yes, and then she says yes, but I thought you wanted me to leave. That is sometimes the state of delusion in female minds, and I can't do anything about this. I have zero control over this. If we were in the Christian society of 1920, maybe I could file some report and say, hey, my wife is a little crazy. She's a little out there. Can I control? Can I own her, basically? And I'm sure that there were, I mean, basically you didn't have to file that paper in 1920s. Because in the 1920s, this was called marriage. But we are not in the 1920s, and we are in 2023 where...
That's a weird segue. That's a really weird segue.
You definitely had like marriage certificates that you had to sign and file in the 1920s.
Well, no. If your wife was crazy in the 1920s, you still had to file paperwork to send her to the crazy place. You had to have a doctor say, this man's wife is crazy.
And then, you know, he sticks a dildo in her and gets her off for like a week and a half. She comes back. She's not as crazy. You know, the problem is a lack of female orgasms.
The thing is still the language, okay? It's still not, she's a person with agency. It's not something is wrong. It's not, at no time does he think he's worried about her status, right? It's all, these things just happen. People just go away. Since fucking when?
Oh, just wait, Rune. Just wait.
We have an experiment going on in society. What happens when you let these females do whatever the fuck they want? Well, what happens is that they sometimes make bad decisions. So, in June, she left. And And 2 days after leaving, so she left and she had a whole plan. She had bought camping material. She was on her way to some sort of survivalist trip. From what I understood, it looked like.
That's not suspicious.
But we don't. But he has no idea why she left.
See,
but also, one of the easy excuses, if you don't live in Florida or a swampy area of the country to get rid of a body is, oh, she went camping. And you buy the camping gear, and then she gets lost in the woods.
I wish I would have. I wish I would have thought to load.
Here's the thing, okay? Devil's advocacy. He could just be an idiot. All right.
Yes.
This is why. This is why it's a jury. It's why it's a jury of your peers that's elected, at random, plus a judge. Because I, a person on the street just hearing this, am not necessarily in command of enough facts to judge whether or not this guy is guilty. However, as a person halfway fractionally aware of how legal procedure works, his lawyer, if he has one, is crying right now because all of this is actionable. All of this is public record. All of this can be used by a prosecutor. And it sounds, whether it is or not, it sounds to a jury like a fucking, not just an admission of guilt, but let me tell you the entire plan about how I did it.
Just
look. I'm not saying I did it, but if I did it, here's how.
Actually,
right? It's literally O.J. Simpson if I did it.
It actually gets worse, if you can believe it or not. And I so wish I would have loaded
God,
Boogie.
it gets worse.
I wish I would have loaded Boogie on here, going stuffing it with that big black cock meat.
Oh my God!
Like she was preparing for life in the wild. She promised me when she left that she would always be reachable and that I would be able to reach her to deal with all of the official papers. That she owns a lot of stuff and
hold up.
And although we do have legal remedies for
all the legal papers. That's a very weird thing to interject in this story about. Hey, my wife is missing. I don't know where she is. She promised me she could sign all the papers I needed her to sign. That's a thing that establishes a possible motive.
Well,
for
well, again, remember, English is like his third language, and he can barely speak his first language well. So,
for this, I was like, if you totally disappear, you might put me in trouble on some bills, on some, getting utilities and everything.
Why would you think that, though?
So she promised to me that she wouldn't fully disappear.
But why would you think that, though?
She went away, and 2 days later, she talked to me on the phone and sent a message. But by the way, everything I tell you is things I have told to the police. So it's not, there's no secret coming out that you guys are hearing. It might be secret from a public perspective, but it's all things that the feds have been knowing for a couple of days.
But
so the last message that she sends.
Yeah. But let's get to the meat here.
In June, 2 days after leaving, and it had been apparent. I think I may have been in contact for a couple of times during these 2 days, so I was sure that she was progressing through whatever trip she wanted to do. I knew that she was still alive. But 2 days after leaving, she says, I have changed my plans. I will not hold my promise toward you. I will not be reached.
Hold up.
Pause it. So she left in sometime in June, right? So an article comes out last week sometime that there's a Canadian woman who's been missing since like June, whatever.
Official drop-off date, according to JF, was June 17th. The last point of contact, according to JF and the authorities, June 19th.
And this comes out like 4 or 5 days ago, publicly, that she's been missing for that long.
Correct, because somebody else reported her missing.
Yeah, just to put it into context, that's the timeline we're looking at. Let's say June 17th to be nice, up until
other words,
up until October, let's say 4th.
So in other words, what you're saying is So in other words, what you're saying is 2 days after he drops his wife off, she says, "I'm not going to contact you." He doesn't contact, the police to say, "Hey, I'm concerned about my wife. She's on a camping trip. Can you possibly have somebody, establish that she's okay and communicate back to me?" That's a very weird thing we're rimming into here.
Well, we'll get into my theory as we get further into the video. But
here's this about that, just very, very briefly. Hi, I took lots of psychology, crim psych, ab psych.
I thought you were about to say I took lots of psychedelics.
That too. No, but I took forensics. I took Murder 211. My professor was a former CID from the military. I know a lot about how investigations are done. I also took criminology courses. And as a novice, as a not practicing person in this area, one of the things that comes in about like interrogations and how people give information or give stories is either they give not enough information and you break holes in it because they can't substantiate their claims, or they give way too much information.
And he's giving way too much information.
Way too much fucking information. Because
just wait though. Just wait.
No, I get it. But here's the thing. First, she went on a trip. She didn't tell me, but she said she'd call. Then she called me 2 days later, but now she says she's not going to call at all. And I did nothing. It's like, why wouldn't she just stop talking to you? Why did she specifically call you to tell you she's not going to talk to you? And why do you know it was 2 days later? Specifically.
So Rune, the TLDR and what I kind of think after going through this previously on another show is he's a narcissist and either emotionally and or physically abusive, and she somehow tricked him to be able to get out, and she has escaped and she's on the other side of Canada at the moment, and she's hiding out, and she doesn't want him to find her because he was beating the shit out of her. That's essentially my theory. I don't actually think he killed her. I think the more plausible theory is she was escaping an abusive relationship.
That is entirely plausible. That is another entirely plausible interpretation of facts. I'm just saying that in practice, he is making himself look really guilty.
He definitely did something, but I don't think he actually killed her.
I have a theory too, but I'll save it for the end.
I don't think the Springs potato harvest is going to have her part of it.
Does it involve Winky's church?
I'm pretty sure she's fine, and she was just escaping him, and he's trying to gloss it over with his audience as he's the victim and stuff because he's a narcissist. That's what happens. That's half the reason that this show has the viewership we do. Is none of us give a shit enough to actually get people to listen to us.
Well, as stated, he has an interest in young women who might not be able to fully understand the context of what's going on. It is actually entirely impossible.
That's a meme. So that is a meme.
Okay, if that's a meme, not a fact, then disregard.
But historically speaking, the women he has been with are not all entirely there. They're all.
There are charges of him sexually assaulting a mentally retarded girl at Duke when he got fired.
I'm I'm just saying that it is entirely possible that maybe she did storm out in order to try and teach him a lesson, and this is all a big misunderstanding.
Right,
It could
but-
actually be as he parts it. He's just presenting it in the worst possible way.
The hard part, Rune, is knowing, because she's appeared on streams, like people who watch him know who she is.
Yeah.
The hard part is determining, like, is she actually, kind of mentally off, or is she just French Canadian? It's hard to tell from the clips of her that exist whether she is retarded or just Canadian. And I'm not saying that as a joke. Like, that's legitimately, it's hard to tell.
It's almost the Futurama meme. Not sure if retarded or just Canadian.
Yeah, no, that's it. No, that is 100% what Mama JF is like. It's very, very hard to tell. Anyways, continue.
Yeah, I will shut the bug up.
No, you won't.
Roll that bean footage, Church.
And it's like, okay. She says, I have a new plan. And I'm like, does your new plan involve any sort of attack against me or the family? Because you guys know how important that is to me. She says, you don't have to be worried. My new plan does not involve you. I'm just going to change cell phone. Now, I knew that she had left without any sort of electronic tracking. You know how the police can track you with your credit card, with your debit card. She had left with nothing but her phone. So when she said
the
that
police
to
can
me
track you
through
with.
text,
Which police can track you with.
Just wait.
I concluded, okay, she's going off grid. She's going full survivalism. And kind of in her fashion. I mean, that's the way Mama JF is. So changing her phone, to me, it meant I'm dropping potentially my own identity behind. I'm potentially disappearing in nature. I'm potentially, she could be anywhere from there.
All right, so pause it here.
And that's what I was.
So this is why I think it's a abuse victim trying to get out. She's not trying to hide from the authorities. She's trying to hide from him.
That sounds right.
That's kind of what I'm getting from it.
What I was explaining to the police, Mama JF, you remember the story she told on her video on YouTube where she talked about crossing the border in Spain and in the enclaves of Spain in North Africa. Mama JF is a fucking extreme, like 007 level of like fugitive mentality.
This is how retarded French Canadians are. They can't say 007, they have to say 007. I just, that makes me laugh every time he says it. And he says it multiple times through this rant.
To the police, Mama JF, you remember the story she told on her video on YouTube where she talked about crossing the border in Spain and in the enclaves of Spain in North Africa. Mama JF is a fucking extreme, like 007 level of like fugitive mentality. And I was kind of telling that to the police jokingly, half jokingly, but it's like she's a professional fugitive who doesn't commit crimes. So it's like she's gonna be hiding from you as hard as she can, while also not having anything to reproach to herself. But that's just how she is. So I mean, she and so from there, I'm like, I'm gonna drop myself behind. I'm going to disappear. You're not going to be able to reach me. So that is what I've been knowing since June.
Of course,
you're faced with the big.
Quick. So, in every story, whether he's blowing things up, lying, whatever, there is a kernel of truth. I think she did leave, and she did dump her phone and sent him one last message and changed her phone number. And what he says there is, I changed my phone so they cannot reach me. What I think actually happened is she changed her phone over so he cannot reach her. And that's where I think that little kernel of truth, he switched again because, he's a crazy French Canadian narcissist. He flipped that to say she did it so the feds can't trace her, but it's really so he can't trace her. No one else has a comment on that?
Should I call the police? This is a willing woman, a willing adult woman doing her willing stuff. So I've not called the police because in my view, there was no evidence of criminality. There was no evidence of distress. It looked like, to me, someone who has decided to go...
He had what?
He didn't call the police because they'd see the shiner that he gave her before she left.
Survivalism. Will I report someone for being survivalist? I mean, this reminds me of the Facebook post. As one of your loved ones gone to survivalism, as one of your loved one bought too much camping material. No, that is literally one of the Facebook posts.
No one has seen that Facebook post. Have you guys seen that Facebook?
This is post? Really showing like this is major cope.
Oh yeah,
but I don't want to be in the society where buying camping material gets you reported to the feds, and I am bound to Mama JF's interest because I've loved her and I still love her and I still consider myself allied to her forever. Forever, no matter what she does, even if she goes out there getting other boyfriends, I consider myself tied to her forever. So at this point, I'm in front of this information and I've decided that this was not warranting a call to the police in June. And I've spoken to her family, and they thought similarly. This is Mama JF. She is an out there woman, and it's not the first time she does this. In the absence of any evidence of harm or that she's doing something evil to someone else, there's no reason to call the police. And in fact, we even had someone in the family talked loosely to a federal investigator who was friends with us and just asking, what is this? Is this a disappearance or is this just a woman? Just a woman doing whatever she wants. And the investigator had actually, from what I heard, this is not an interaction that I had myself. But someone who was worried in the family spoke to an investigator and said, look, those are the facts. It's a woman. She leaves like this. She wanted to leave. She gets herself equipped with camping material and all. Is this a disappearance? Is this something we should signal? And the investigator had said, well, no, this looks like a consensual.
It is a little.
So I was reassured that not only was my judgment converging toward.
Do you know what he's contriving as camping material?
Probably rope.
Fire starter and a knife.
Shouldn't you already have that?
No. He's. I'll get into it a little more, but
okay.
He's calling it fire starter and a knife.
The fact that Mama JF
context to that.
That's what he's calling camping material.
Oh, okay.
Not a tent, not like cooking supplies, because he later clarifies that
an axe,
he's not going.
survival.
Yeah, she's not going on a camping trip. She's going on a hitchhiking trip, is what he later states.
Oh, I missed that.
Oh yeah,
it's not in this interview. It's the interview on the Crucible.
Stuffing her with that big black cock meat.
She's a free woman. She can decide to do this. And also, there was these social signals reinforcing that I wasn't the only one thinking this. Other people were thinking this also. So that was the state in June and July. But then, the months pass, and now we're in October. When is it that worries are justified? And so there was a building up of stress in the people who love her. And my position has always been to all of these people, to any friend of Mama JF and to any person involved. My position has been, I saw her go. I saw her wanting to go. And so I don't need to call the police. But if you feel that it warrants a call to the police, I respect you and you go ahead and call them. And I will not say who ended up calling, but someone ended up noticing that somehow Mama JF was missing and maybe knew about me. I don't know. I don't know exactly how it all happened, but someone ended up noticing, hey, there's this girl and her loved ones don't know where she is. And so they made a call to the police, and this launched a whole investigation that I've been involved in for, I don't know, maybe 4 days, 5 days, I don't know. But the feds are coming regularly at my house. They are waking me in the morning.
That is weird.
All of my loved ones sleep late, or just that way. We are computer programmers living in the night. That is just what we do. And I'm a man of the internet. My show is at 7 p.m. Eastern time, and it's not even the end of my day. So they wake me up every morning. There are days where they come once, where there are days where they come twice. There's always a truck of...
It really just matters how many times I stroke them off. Nothing? Nobody? That wasn't...
No.
Terrible. I said I was going to shut the fuck up, and was challenged that I would not, so...
Oh, wait a minute. RuneKnight was shutting the fuck up and I missed it?
Yeah, it was ruined.
It's never lupus.
Of the feds in front of my house. And, there's lots of people making jokes right now on the social media, like, Jeff, where did you hide the body and all? I knew that this was coming to this no matter what, because we live in a society that just can't accept the cost of liberty. The cost of liberty is you're going to have a bunch of females make terrible decisions. But no, I have not killed Mama JF, and I would be very surprised that I'm even...
I mean, is he wrong?
I mean, this guy is 100% spot on here. I love this
that's
guy.
to say, he's not wrong.
I want that saying tattooed in like Latin, like over my heart.
No more room on your ass for any more tattoos.
No,
I said over my heart.
No, Dillard. We'll get this one like on over your navel, like a Tupac tattoo.
Oh yeah.
Like a girl's
even considered a suspect in any way, because I have left records, I have left electronic traces of my drop.
I made sure to leave a trail that would lead back to me that says I didn't kill her, because that's something normal people do.
No, I made sure to keep texting her old phone number after she told me she changed her phone number just to make it look like I wasn't a suspect.
You keep trying to spoil my theory.
Dropping her alive in front of cameras of a gas station, and there has been plenty of electronic records of the fact that she was alive many days after leaving me, after after asking me to drop her at a certain location.
He just said the inside part outside.
And yes, that there are so many cameras these days and credit cards purchases that I can prove. I would be very surprised that I'm anyhow considered a suspect, but the feds are still very thirsty for information, so they keep coming back. And honestly, I'm very impressed by the quality of their work, but it's like they understand also that I'm a guy on the internet, so I'm not. I have a high security home. I'm not going to let them in, but it's like, okay, they want every possible detail they can have about Mama JF because they are on this program of finding Mama JF, and it's fascinating to see a bunch of professionals like this who really are interested in her safety. Let me tell you, I'm hostile to the government in general, but I've always known that within the police force, the vast majority of policemen are excellent.
I'm kind of retarded.
Just excellent workers and professionals, and I see it in my interactions with them. They understand everything. So so that means they're coming to me and they want to know exactly what she said before leaving. They want traces of where were you when you dropped her, who could know her, who are her friends. And it's like I pulled Mama JF out of a lifestyle, and
what kind of
I
lifestyle?
never really got acquainted with this.
So pause it. So this is key right here, where he goes into this. He pulled her out of a lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
So just pay very close attention to the words he attempts to say in French, Canadian, English.
With this lifestyle, I'm not the kind of I don't have respect for human beings, especially not homeless druggies. So I'm not the kind of guy who will approach a female and become friends with her male friends. So what I did with Mama JF is I extracted her from her misery and from her lifestyle, and I brought her to a greater lifestyle, cleaner, less craziness.
He saved her, guys.
It's a clear-cut case of you can't make a hoe a housewife.
See, but here's the thing. I know.
I mean, it's in the book. From the street she came, and to the streets she must return.
That's from the Prophet Shakur.
Here's the thing.
It is.
I know Ayrton says this guy didn't uninvite her from reality.
Unalive her, yes.
But the thing is that if I was a prosecutor making a case, because I only have to prove the case to 10 idiots not smart enough to get out of jury duty.
12.
Right? Used to be 10.
Well, it's Canada.
It was never 10.
It's never 10. Always been 12. 12 jurors.
No wonder this guy's not a prosecutor.
Again, fuck you, Dillard. We can have this.
Now you could probably prove it to a jury of 12 people. But what if you were putting this case before 12 people and you didn't have breakfast that morning?
The thing is that he says, I don't respect human beings, especially not druggies and street people. I saved her from the street,
which is fair. I also don't respect druggies,
but then says she tried to leave me, so she just had to go away.
That's the sort of thing a murderer would say.
Yeah.
See, but again, I don't think he killed her. The story doesn't line up for him killing her.
I'm not saying one way or the other that he did.
It does, but you'll have to hear my side of it.
I'm saying within the context of a prosecutor can very easily make that fucking argument.
No, but I don't think he killed her, but I 100% think that he abused her.
So that is what I've done. And so when they ask me where could she be, is she friends with this guy, is she friends with these guys, it's like I have just a general idea that Mama JF is a super social creature of Montreal.
You know,
and that's what I've been telling
figured
them.
it out. So she was tired of that boring Canadian cock, and she decided to go. You know, that's what happened.
She went south of the Canadian
and yeah, so that's been so the feds being extremely, on their path of we need to save everyone. We need to save everyone. And I'm like, it's amazing to see the conversations between them and me, because I'm actually less motivated at finding Mama Jeff than they are. I've never requested any of this.
Jesus Christ, man.
It was at this moment that the lawyer realized he fucked up.
I want to be clear. If Mama JF is out there listening to this, I want to be clear with you, Mama JF. I've not been requesting an investigation against you. I've not been trying to send the feds after you. I've not been wanting to do this episode even. I'm forced to do this episode because there are forum posts right now that your face is on whatever the feds have published. And then people are looking at my tweet today, informing people about this. And they're like, well, look, he calls her Mama JF. He doesn't even call her by her real name. So he's not really interested at them finding her. It's there's a lot of
You said you're not interested.
Done saying that he was even less interested than the police were at finding her. He did indeed just say that.
Interest to wade in here. First, by naming Mama JF a way that I've never named her publicly, I would only be misleading people. The fact is, everyone who interacts with me through this platform knows Mama JF as Mama JF. So that's her name for you guys. I'm not going to reveal her real name because, honestly, I don't even know if she wants to be found.
Women are property.
And that is something you have to wait when you're in this situation. I am a bearer of the interest of Mama JF. Maybe she doesn't want to be found. Maybe she's on a huge trip, whatever, thinking, going to parties. Maybe she's going to Woodstock in the US. I have no clue. But maybe she doesn't want to be found. And that's part of her liberty that I have to defend. I'm not going to act like these worried families who want to help someone more than they want to be helped. Because one thing I have learned at enormous cost in my life is don't help someone who doesn't want to be helped. And so I'm like to these feds, I'm like, please understand, you're going to pursue a fugitive who has committed zero crime. She's going to be playing with you, sending you on false traces. She's going to have her hoodie, hiding herself from facial recognition cameras everywhere she enters. She has dropped all of her electronics behind. She's basically 007, but she has no mission, and she...
Take a drink.
She's not fleeing you guys for a crime that she did because she's a good person. She's not going to commit a crime. That's the situation. You guys want to have fun finding her to be sure that she's safe? You go ahead. But I know will when I see it. And her will was to go out there
pause it real quick. So she's 007 and her plan for escaping the feds is to wear a hoodie.
Yes, it worked for Jason Bourne, Ayrton.
It did work for Jason Bourne. It worked for Captain America in what was Winter Soldier. Soldier, the second one.
Okay. I mean, it worked for Ted Kaczynski. His brother had to turn him in.
That's right.
Yep.
So Uncle Ted escaped the feds by wearing a hoodie and sunglasses. That's why I have
And
several hoodies and like 4 pairs of sunglasses.
Apparently, it was
hold
this turn of phrase that he constantly like corrected people on, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
it was exactly
the kind
of pedancy that I do.
Yeah, it was because his brother recognized like his writing style or something like that.
No,
like
no, it was because of a specific turn of phrase that he used in a specific way and corrected everyone on it.
There's a phrase that the modern argot is different than the original, and he was like his world would fucking end if you said it quote unquote wrong because you weren't using the actual enunciation. So he had to fucking tell you all the time. And he used it in one of his printed manifestos, and his brother went, "Oh shit, I know who says that."
Yeah, Rune, when you go crazy and write a manifesto and start mailing bombs to people, all of us will know it's you.
I mean, I should fucking hope so. I'm working real hard to be noticed. I got a manifesto, goddammit!
And for whatever period. I didn't know when she left whether it would be a 2-week period like last time or whether it would be a 2-year period. She could be on a container traveling toward
that's the key
Morocco right now.
Sorry, pause it again. So that's the key evidence for me that he didn't actually kill her and that it's some sort of a escaping an abusive relationship. Is it a 2-week period like before? Or is it yada yada yada?
And she could have dealt with the locals at the port. She could have talked to a boat driver and give him some money and get on the boat. Who the fuck knows?
You still need a passport.
How much money did she have when she didn't take her credit or debit cards with her?
Well, remember, she could write on his accounts.
Could she?
That's what he said. Yeah.
Yeah, because as soon as you drop her off, you don't call the bank and have her removed from those accounts.
So obviously,
or move the money into another account.
She's either still in Canada, which is the most likely case, or she crossed. So I don't know if you guys know this, not being as close to the border growing up as I was to Canada, but there is what's called the no man's zone, and it's like a good, I don't know, 5 to 10 yard space between like us and Canada that's just like completely mowed and flat, and they ripped up all the trees and everything to like define a border. You could just casually cross it as long as there's no feds around, and there's plenty of space where there's no feds around in the no man's land.
Here's the thing. Regardless of what he says, parsing that he doesn't understand why they're looking, but he's like, "Oh wow, they're looking. That's really nice." Of course, if someone is suspected of disappearing, they look at friends and family first. Always. Because that is the most likely involvement, is someone that they know was going to be involved. Right? If she has access to his money, and she is alive, and she is spending it, that's verification right there. They wouldn't still be looking, because they're going to look at his bank books. They're going to say, "Hey, what are these expenditures?" And if he says, "I don't know, I didn't make them," they're like going to look into it and go, "Oh, she made them. She must be alive." Well, people are allowed to be alive. I guess it's not a problem.
By the way, when I disappear, you guys are like my only friends that I talk to, so be ready to be interviewed by the feds.
I'm fucking sorry.
Oh, fuck.
Look, Ayrton, you got to get some better friends, man.
That's too much effort. People are
and so that is the situation. And to people who are saying, well, he doesn't make all efforts to find her, he doesn't name her in her tweet, or he doesn't show a photo of her. I'm not gonna show a photo of her or name her when this is not my quest. This is not my quest. I had a visual confirmation from Mama JF live in front of me that she wanted to go away. As far as I'm concerned, she's still in a trip. She's still out there just tripping, and I'm not going to publish her image because I don't know whether she consents to it.
So again,
I'm not going to name her name.
This supports my theory. Again, don't know how accurate it is, but that's part of why I did this whole RV thing and traveling around is about once a year I would get an itch to just hop on my bike and just ride away and disappear for several days, and no one would know where exactly. They would have an idea, like, oh, okay, you're vague. I'm vaguely in this area, but I wouldn't even know where I was going. I kind of get that, just to escape, but I think it's bigger than that. You know what I mean?
So when the police come to ask me about your disappearance, the answer is, this is not my quest, and Ayrton just went away. Got it.
Your answer is that I'm probably in the mountains somewhere, because that happens regularly. I just get an itch to just head up into the mountains for a few hours. Who knows? Maybe I made friends with a bear, and I'm hanging out and eating honey, and just living the bare necessities and some shit.
But Ayrton, what if you didn't have breakfast that morning?
I never have breakfast.
When they approach me and ask me about the whereabouts of one Ayrton McCartney, I look them square in the face and I say, "Officer, I have no idea where that motherfucker is. He owes me $20."
No, your answer should be who?
My answer is he's in sovereign. Last I heard, he was in sovereign Native American land. So you need to deal with them.
He was. He wasn't driving. He was traveling.
I am in a land boat.
Because I don't know if she.
I heard that Ayrton McCartney and his spirit animal Chuck Norris were on a swamp boat headed down to Florida to find gators.
How dare you? I would never go to Florida. Fuck Florida. I hate meth and old people. All right, and Disney.
What about Cuban cocaine?
That's the only thing Cuba can make right.
If she consents to it. If she wants to call me and say, "JF, I want to be found," or "JF, I don't want to be found," she could do it, and she can do it. So what I said in my tweet is, if you guys want to help the police, and you've seen Mama JF somewhere, you've seen her at a gas station, you've seen someone who looks like her, you just call the police, or check my tweet, and you will find a Proton Mail.
Yes, call the police or send me an email on Proton Mail. I mean, you shouldn't do both. I mean, you probably should just
my
email me
whereabouts. Contact me on Patreon.
See, this was the weird part to me. Where again, I don't think he killed her. I think there's something else
weird
going.
part.
Email address. If you don't want to be in contact with the police, just send me an email and I can relay any information that I think is relevant or factual. I'm not going to relay trolling, so you guys can already forget the idea of trolling me. I'm going to relay what seems to be important. But
that's not how that works.
Oh yeah, his inbox is already full of people saying he murdered his wife.
No, not just that, but if you get a call from the person and then you go to the police and say, "Oh guys, she called me, she said not to look for her, she's fine," they're gonna say, "No," and then they're gonna say, "Can we talk to her directly?" And then they're gonna say, "Where are you?" Because they've been called in to find your ass and they need visual fucking verification.
They're gonna subpoena the phone company.
Yeah,
the phone number. They're gonna trace it via triangulation.
Exactly.
And they're going to find her that way. They're not going to talk to any fucking body. They're not going to say anything. They're going to try to find her once they know she's in contact.
They're also not going to take his word for it just because he seems like a stand-up guy, honest, swear. That's not how that goes.
Probably Mama JF is out there having fun, probably exposing herself to huge risks. The risks of street
she's
life,
exposing herself,
anonymous life. When no one is there to care for you, you are at risk. Because no one knows. No one knows if someone has raped you and just put your body in a ditch.
Oh God, no!
And no one is there to check.
Come on, man!
That's the consequence of anonymity. That's the consequence of having no one. That is the cost of liberty.
Why
but
would
we've
you say
chosen
that?
to, and Mama JF has fully
because Rune, he raped her and put her in a ditch.
I
know. Look. I'm not saying I did it, okay? But if I did
if I did, this is how it would have happened.
Jesus Christ! I know where the ditch is. I can talk to her at any time. Yeah.
She fully chosen to run with that cost. So it's like she has her husband right here, ready to care for her, ready to give her security and comfort, and not demanding anything from her. She chose to expose herself to whatever risk it is, and she totally has the right to do so. Shadow Band says, if someone could get away with murder, it's JF. But if someone could get away with faking their death, it's Mama JF. That is absolutely correct. I mean, you have found an interesting duality right here. Absolutely. Totally the style of Mama JF to basically fake her death or to just disappear in a way that she can switch identity. I mean, she's... and it's amazing because Mama JF doesn't watch movies like CSI and 007 or... she doesn't watch James Bond and gets excited at it, but her life is a James Bond movie.
I want to be clear because this is me saying this, and you know how middle of the road I am. That is the gayest fucking shit. I don't care if it's culturalism. They trend to say 00. Like I get that if you're talking about bullet calibers or phone numbers or whatnot. But
no, French Canadians are retarded.
But the term 007 is fucking international. Everyone knows it's 007. You goblin.
007.
Yeah, whatever you say, Borat.
Very good.
What kind of dog is this?
Very nice. 007 is a very nice international spy.
Jesus Christ.
Movie of its own. That is what is so amazing. Holy shit. What a crazy woman who... But you know, out of the crazy women who have been in my life, she has always been morally straight, you know. Yes, all of this disappearance is causing some kind of shake-up and chaotic thing in my life. I mean, I'm getting woken up by the feds every morning. They're knocking at my window, and I'm like, what? But I'd much rather this than evil stuff, than attacks on loved ones. I would much rather...
Can we just point out that Canadians are so stupid that they knock on a window instead of the door?
I can't actually say that. My old man was that retarded.
He must have been part Canadian then.
I would be asleep in my bedroom, not come to the door because it's fucking 8 o'clock in the morning. My old man would come around the side of the house, knock on my fucking window. I lost my shit at him about it. I said, "Don't fucking knock on my window." He was not happy.
Again, he must have been Canadian.
Possibly. But I did. It's like one of the few times I outright looked at my old man and said, "If you do this again, I'm going to fucking call the cops on you."
The chaotic nature of Mama JF, but with a kind of moral pillar to it, than anything else, anything more evil. Forex says, often when worried, families get the state involved.
All right, so he's just reading super chats at this point. He pulls this up for some reason. But yeah, he basically just reads super chats and goes over his response to the police. But so the next day, he goes on a podcast called The Crucible. And he gets interviewed by a guy named, I think, Andrew Wilson. Am I right on that?
That sounds right.
And it goes a little deeper. And he clarifies that he didn't mean camping trip. He means like she's hitchhiking. He dropped her off at a gas station, is his initial claim. And he said that she took her camping materials with her. She'd been planning this trip, which contradicts his earlier statement of he had no idea why she was gone. She just told him to drop her off somewhere. Now, she has done this in the past, like Ayrton said, but here are my thoughts on it. I think this motherfucker bought a camping knife, murdered the bitch with it, but before that, he made sure that she was on camera on the day that he claimed that she went away. And then after he killed her, he kept texting himself and calling himself from her phone until he sent himself the text message that he was going off the grid. And now he's trying to fill in the blanks after he's dumped the body and hazmat cleaned his fucking house and rebuilt walls and shit.
He says 007 instead of 007. He is not smart enough to come up with a plan.
Because if you're in their world, I think you have to say like not 7.
That's equally bad.
So, but no, I think he did it. I think he stabbed her. I think he dropped her off in the middle of the woods somewhere with the camping knife, so that when they found it on her person, that his story would line up. That she bought this to take with her to camp, and I guess she was killed with it by one of these truck drivers that she was hitchhiking with because it wasn't actually a camping trip.
Here's the thing. I'm not even going to suggest that you're wrong, because, I mean, all these theories are equally valid, okay? But it doesn't even have to be that well planned. He could have done it in the moment. Could have just fucked up, and then been like, oh god, I fucked up, what do now? And the answer was, build a shitty story, make a corpse.
He could have rented a hooker and dressed her up like Mama JF and put a hood on her so that she could be on camera. And then, like I said, drove around back and gotten somebody else, like making an electronic trail to clear himself.
He says
hookers are just fucking notorious for keeping secrets for their Johns.
Again, he says 007. He is not smart enough to come up with these elaborate schemes.
I can go to the open air swap meet and buy 7 dozen knives. You don't need to leave a paper trail of a camping knife.
I know, but
you do in Canada. You do in Canada.
Thing.
Oh, Canada.
Yeah.
Where's the Canadian Shield? We should get him on this.
Oh, yeah. Rick Piper. Get him involved.
I mean, I think Rick Piper is dealing with some stuff right now.
This will take his mind off of it. He could solve a murder mystery.
Who is the guy?
I know he had the lifelike Canadian Shield costume in his closet. He has.
Hold up. Who is the guy who had the Canadian hero who's doing the thing about the maple syrup heist?
Wait, that's not Rick Piper?
No, that's another guy.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. Maple syrup.
I don't remember that guy.
We need Moose Man for that. Ayrton, have you been bitten by a radioactive moose yet?
It was an elk, which is close.
Not close enough. That won't get you into Canada.
Damn it.
Anyway, so he goes on the Crucible. His story falls apart. I think he did it. No, I'm not saying his story fell apart. Like, he kept adding to it, though. And the thing that bothers the shit out of me is he keeps adding to the story. And, like, that's dangerous. But at one point,
play some footage from the Crucible podcast because I didn't see that.
I'll get you a link to it. I watched it. Revenus, the guy that sometimes covers Ethan Ralph, actually restreamed it on Rumble. So I watched it while I was at work the other day. But now he's gone on another podcast with a lady who is a true crime person who the guy from the Crucible hated. So he rage quit her interview at the second time she asked about the kids involved in the situation. Because they do have children together. Apparently a 1 and a 3-year-old.
You went on a show with a true crime person and then rage quit when a true crime person has true crime related questions?
Yes. And he's also gone on the Dick Show, and I don't know how that turned out because I didn't get a chance to finish watching it before the show tonight.
Do you have any clips from the true crime show? Because I'm actually kind of curious about that.
Yeah, let me see.
I want to see him rage quit, to be honest with you.
JF Rage Quit podcast. There's a 3-hour and 26-minute stream talking about it.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, well, we don't have that kind of time since we are actually at the top of our time.
Hey, last week we did almost 3 hours. Shut up.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, I do not want to spend another hour watching another person's live stream for what is ultimately 5 minutes worth of interesting material.
All right, here we go. Here's a 3-minute. Here's a 3-minute clip right here. That's reasonable, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
I can do 3.
Yeah, you can.
At once.
Yeah, about his. So we did before the show say that we weren't going to talk about kids. People have been asking me all day, are they safe or are you still taking care of them? I know that you said that you wouldn't get into that. So if you don't want to, you don't have to, but that's just a question I've been getting all day.
Wait, pause it real quick.
Okay.
So the super chat says, ask about
the spuds of Mama JF.
The spuds of Mama JF. So,
well, I mean, there's a potato famine on.
So, Rune, the joke has been since, I don't know what church, 2016, 2015 maybe?
2017, 2018 when they got together.
Well, it's been going on before that, hasn't it? The potato
farmer?
But
it became like the true meme when everyone was introduced to Mama JF.
All right. So because he likes women that are kind of retarded.
I'm kind of retarded.
The joke is he's a potato farmer. That's why the meme, I should say, is he likes the potatoes. So that's why they call him Spuds. That's why the title of the show is The Great Canadian Potato Famine.
Unfortunately, the language is wrong. The Downy would be the Spuds. Kids would be tater tots.
Oh, yeah.
And is your missing girlfriend, is she your first baby mama?
Well, I've already indicated to you that I would not answer anything concerning children. So.
Oh, okay. I didn't think. Sorry, I was trying to get I was trying to get around to asking kids, but I was trying to see if they because I don't want to ask anything that would expose your family, but I do want to know your relationship history and if you have.
What I often say is I am really satisfied by life. I have produced many projects, family projects that I'm satisfied with through many families.
Wow!
And I have an extreme gratefulness.
He has a whole family.
The physical universe gave me in terms of links to these projects.
So I don't want to tell you about
the whole bag.
Let's just take a break. Let's do some super chats and we'll come back. Check this out. Okay.
I don't want to tell you about your.
Why would your wife abandon? Okay, why would your wife abandon her kids? I mean, I know you don't want to talk about kids, but can you at least acknowledge that that is a crime? Like, why would she commit a crime? So we don't have to talk. Let's not talk about the kids. But why would she be okay with committing some egregious crime that harms others?
Listen, you're deluded.
Okay.
Don't.
I'm not. I'm really trying to be respectful. I'm not trying to be rude at all. But seriously, how am I deluded? Because I'm trying. It is a crime.
Because you're attributing crimes to things that you don't understand at all. You don't even meet a standard of prima facie case for a crime. It is not a crime to travel. Is it a crime to go to LA? Is it a crime to travel to LA?
Wait, hold on. What's prima facie?
Yeah, exactly. You know nothing. You're stupid. You are extremely stupid. It's like worse than talking to a monkey.
I've never heard the phrase prima facie.
Yeah, because you don't know Latin, and I don't have time to teach you.
No, you're right.
You don't either. That's not how that's enunciated.
It's hard being this dumb sometimes. But thank you for having the patience to talk to me. But I do know that it is a crime to abandon your kids. And Mama J seems like a really wonderful woman. And fuck, I triggered him that bad. He left. I was really trying. Rage quit. Okay.
What a bitch.
Yep.
What a little bitch.
Yep.
And no wonder Canada still has the queen on their money, even though she's dead.
See, here's the thing. There is exactly one answer to that question beyond, I don't want to talk about that. And it's an answer that does not, in fact, endanger him at all. Which is when you're asked the question, why would she abandon her children? You say, oh, you mean if she abandoned her children? I don't know. Or
you say because she's a cunt.
No, see, that would actually be adversarial. That would create more problems.
I don't know. I don't know if calling an ex a cunt is admissible in court or not.
If you call your ex a cunt,
what the fuck is church asleep? What is that?
No, that's Larry.
That's Larry. He has a sinus problem.
The thing is,
I do.
If you call your ex a cunt and then she's later found dead, that kind of moves you to the front of the list of suspects, whether you did it or not.
See, it's the thing the problem that you're having here is you're laboring under this. I don't know why you are a fucking cooperation. If you don't want to answer a question and you already, said, I'm not going to answer any questions about these kids. And this bitch here, look at her face. She's been dancing around because I know you said very bluntly that you won't be answering any questions. Let me ask you questions about your kids. No. Right. Well, let me ask you another question that's kind of tertiarily involves your kids. Hey, you dumb cunt. How am I dumb? What do you mean? And as soon as he gets off the line, look at her face. As soon as he gets off, look at her. And then she used the word, did I trigger him that hard? Look at her horse face. Look at her fucking horse face. Rune, look at her. You're not looking at her horse face.
Dillard, shut the fuck up. We're on the same page. There are only two answers. You either say, I don't know.
No, the answer is, I'm fucking out of here. Fuck off,
or you say,
fucking bitch, horse face.
Or you say, I'm not going to talk about that. That's all the answer.
No, you're coming from a spirit of cooperation because you're a fucking bootlicker. That's why.
Hold up. Why is he on a podcast? Why is he on a podcast when his wife's missing?
I don't know what beans you had today.
Because this is how people on the internet make their living. They go on when there's even a little bit of drama. You got to milk it for all it's worth.
Dillard, did you eat breakfast this morning?
Confirm.
I mean,
I did, but I had to make my own breakfast, so I am a little cranky about that.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Okay.
How would you feel if no one made you breakfast this morning?
No one did make me. I'm going to kill it.
All right. That's a pretty good ending. Good night, everybody.
Oh, good night, everybody.
Good night.
Let me get the applause going. Good night,
sure.
everybody. I can do both at once. I'm fancy now.
God
damn it.